Hello, weaponry aficionados. I'm going to work with you today a little bit on a weapon we don't practice in class that much. And you get most of the training you need for it with a single stick. But we're going to look at the Nunchaku. Now, most of you, unfortunately, refer to these as nunchucks. Please don't do that around me. I try not to be pedantic, but nunchucks is a huge distortion of what the Okinawans call these, which is nunchaku. There's no S for making it plural, it's just nunchaku. These are nunchaku. Now, the Filipinos call them tabak toyok, which means broken stick. Pretty good name. In any case, I strongly advise that you get yourself a pair of safety nunchakus if you want to train with them. I'm sure that you can find something on Amazon and get it delivered to your house pretty quick. These are safety nunchakus, and they're made out of foam rubber. If you hit yourself in the head, it's not going to do much damage. Hard to damage this thing anyway. You can make yourself a homemade pair of safety nunchakus pretty easily. Now, these are not homemade, but they look a lot like this because I've taped over a pair of old foam rubber safety nunchakus. What you do is you get a length of cord that stretches all the way from one end to the other and has a good sized room for a good sized knot on each end. Tie one good sized knot on it, and then for this length, find some paper or a magazine. Newspaper works really well. And wrap it this wide, good and tight, and then wrap the duct tape around it. The knot will hold the rope from going through if you wound up the paper tightly enough. Then on the other end, do the same thing, and voila, you have a pair of safety nunchaku made out of paper, duct tape, and string. And believe it or not, this particular type of safety nunchakus have been the best ones I've used. As a matter of fact, if you wrap the paper too tightly and you use like glossy magazines, it's not going to be a safety weapon. You could do some damage with it, so be cautious. Okay. Now, of course, much of what I'm going to show you is going to be what some people consider flash weapons, stuff that's done to show off. But this can also, most of these movements also have actual practical application. The two things I want to start you with are different guards with a nunchaku, right? A guard would be a way I would be ready to fight. Now I can have my hands down in the guard position. This guard, by the way, is the two-handed grip. I can have my hands down, I can have them at the middle, I can have them up. I can even have it loaded in this fashion. I can also have a guard where I hold the nunchaku with one hand, right? Just like I would a stick. I can also have a guard in which I allow one of the sticks to dangle in my guard position. And from there, I can do different things. Another way to hold a guard is to have the nunchaku behind one's shoulder in this fashion, with one end in your hand here, one end back here. And the natural partner to this one is the position in your armpit, where you're using a little muscular tension to squeeze, and from here, you're able to wield another weapon if you see fit, while this stays put, and then you can draw it out later. This is frequently done with sticks. You'll see people in the Filipino martial arts practicing with 4 sticks, one under each arm and one in each hand. In any case, you want to be able to go back and forth from the armpit to the behind the shoulder grip, and that's our lesson for today. Now, as I pull it out from my armpit, it will naturally want to drop. You can use this to your advantage. Allow it to drop and allow that swing to come forward. And then see if you can bring it back and catch it. That's a really good remedial drill to do. When that gets too easy and it's boring, take it out and bring it over your shoulder. Now, if you did that on a nice vertical plane, it will go right where you want it to go to catch it with this hand. But a common mistake is to take it out diagonally and hit yourself in the middle of the back. Your hand can't grab it, you might hurt yourself, and you're certainly a little bit disoriented in a fight. So one of your first tasks here is to make this stick travel on a nice vertical arc. You don't have to catch it. You can tap it off your shoulder and bring it back. Now, when you do this, if you're not using a safety nunchaku, if you're using something a little more substantial, like these hardwood with chains, these will do a number on you if you don't know what you're doing. So from here, when I go back and I tap it on my shoulder, I'm doing it in a specific way so I don't take damage. If I hold the end of the chain tip here too high above my shoulder, this end will come around and the business end will strike me in my shoulder. Do you like how I'm able to hold my arms like this? 10 years ago I couldn't have until my magical modern shoulder replacement surgery. So you can see what I'm doing is I'm reaching down with this tip, the tip with the chain on it, and I'm almost touching it to myself. The closer I come to that, the less momentum I've got. Now, if I'm flexible and I come too far, this end can come up and around and hit me in the chin. So you don't want to overdo this momentum dampening technique of bringing the tip down a little bit. So you can tap it or you can catch it. When you go to catch it, make sure you hold your hand well open. Hold your thumb out. I can't tell you how many times I've jammed the nunchaku into the end of my thumb, dropped it, cussed for a while, and then picked it back up and got back busy again. So you want to catch it in this fashion with the thumb well open. Now, I can bring it back, catch it, bring it back. The next one from here is to release it with the top hand, and when that happens, again, that stave wants to drop, that stick wants to drop, and I can bring it out. Now when I bring it out, I don't want to hold it over here unless I'm good at circling on this side of my body. And that's for some folks is a little more advanced. By the way, another way to get into this over the shoulder position is to hold the nunchaku and simply fold one through. And that's a good drill all by itself. But anyway, as I drop the top stave and I bring this down, try to bring it up vertically and get it to come over the top and see if you can catch it. Now for most people, again, they pull it diagonally and they lose it. There's a trick that I call the stabilization twirl. The stabilization twirl means that as I release this and drop it, I circle it one time. I'm circling it more than once right now. I circle it one time out to the side, which gets it more vertical. And this is what it looks like with a stabilization twirl. Now you can go directly if you're sharp. The stabilization twirl gives you a different rhythm and is a little safer. Let's leave it at that for right now, and I'll give you some more later.